What's going on, world? What's going on? It's your main man, the author. Right back at that ass again. There's another one. Uh, 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 uh. Right back at you, man. Didn't mean to keep y'all waiting, man. Here's a peace to all the new subscribers, man. Thanks for joining me on this mission to make sense out of nonsense. In case you're new to the channel, very taboo, man. I say things that most people think, and I pull no punches, man. Kind of glad that I don't have a whole bunch of subscribers, because I don't feel like I have to cater to a certain audience. I just say what I feel. But basically, this video is going to be pretty much based on, and I pretty much do videos on things that most people think but don't say. And this video is going to be about why I believe I can see why men beat black women. Now, first and foremost, for a disclaimer, I'm not saying that before YouTube flags it, I'm not saying that I advocate, beating women or advocate you putting your foot up a woman's ass. But I do understand why it happens. As a kid, I was raised in a home by my mother, my grandmother, and grandfather. And although my grandfather was in the house, me and my mother stayed upstairs. And so she was my primary caretaker. Grandparents was more secondary, but they fed me almost just as much as my mother did, if not more at certain times. But that's another story. But anyways, to get to the point, as a kid, I didn't understand why a man would hit a woman. And I was against any man who hit a woman. I was against that. I disrespected that man. My mother used to tell me all the time about how my father, who I never saw, how he used to beat her and so on and so forth. So I disrespected all men who beat women as a boy. Raised by a single woman. But as I grew up and got to see when all kids grow up and become adults, you get to see finally that your parents do have flaws. Saw my mother's flaws, saw the flaws of, because as a kid, you think your parents are flawless, right? But as a man, I grew up and saw those flaws, saw how she was a liar, and saw the flaws of many black women, talked to other black men, and I can see how I went from, understanding to seeing how men in a lot of ways have to beat women, man. There's no other way to say it. A dear friend of mine, one of my mentors, he's one of the primary reasons. I had the passion to go to college after joining the Navy, but he was a guy who already had his BA, his degree in mathematics. And my man Tim, he moved out of Camden, New Jersey. His mother moved him out. The whole family moved out when he was like 11 or 12 with his brother. And this guy, man, dark-skinned brother, he told me how he had fell on hard times, and he was trying to contact employers, right? So he put his number out there, but his mother, he was staying with his mother trying to help her because she was struggling trying to hold on to her house. And he was going to try to help her by getting a job, but he was going through a hard time. He was trying to go to school full time and support himself because he had to pay his way through school. she kept playing games with the phone, with the either disconnecting the phone or playing certain games. And he would try to explain to her, "Look, mom, I'm trying to help us. You don't have a," because she didn't have a man in the home. His father wasn't there. I guess his father had turned to drinking. He had busted out the windows in their previous house. But anyway, Tim tried to explain to his mom. He said, "Hey, look, mom, I'm trying to put my number out there to employers so I can get hired, right? You playing games with the phone is not helping me, right?" And she disrespected him, said a bunch of disrespectful things to him. And before he knew it, he had both of his hands. This was a larger sized brother. He had both, about 6'2", 185, right? Not huge, but, pretty big. I was much smaller during this time. And he said before he knew it, he had both of his hands wrapped around his mother's throat, right? And he said he just went black. And he was choking her, and by the time he realized what he did, he was shocked. He was like, "Whoa," because he said she was starting to gasp for air. She couldn't breathe. I think she was about to black out. And he was choking her, and he said he just was like, "Whoa." And the next day, he signed up for the Navy, and I met him when I was in the Navy, going through IT school. So, and it was a blessing to meet him. But, yeah, basically, man, and before that, his mother was beat by his father. And he was like me. He couldn't see how a man could do that growing up as a boy. But as a man, he himself put his hands around his mother's throat because she was so disrespectful. And she was trying to sabotage what he was trying to do for himself, because I don't think she probably had her BA, right? And he was in the same situation. Another example I want to use, I don't know if how many of you have seen the movie Jason's Lyric with Jada Pinkett Smith. This movie came out in the 90s when she was much younger, way before she married Will Smith. And in that movie, the guy that she got with in that movie, his brother had gone to prison, came out of prison, and moved back in with his family. He did probably 10 years, a long time in prison, right? So there's a scene in the movie because his mother got him a job at some chicken coop where she had been working for many years. Now, he did make a mistake by taking money out of her register, right? And she ended up getting fired. And in the movie, pretty much they were blaming him for her losing her job. But in hindsight, I remembered that part, and I was thinking to myself, she cared more about that penny job than she did about her own son, right? Because a lot of these black women, even if the job only paying them bare minimum wage, if they've been there for a certain amount of time, they care about that job more than their own family, right? Now, you can say, well, they use the job money to support the family, but at the same time, it's like, some of these jobs are not paying them that much money, right? And you make an X amount of dollars, you can make that for some other employer. But you should never love your employer more than you love your family, right? You can find another employer. You can't find another family. So she loved that employer more than she loved her son. But my point is, if there was a scene in the movie where, early, and they in the movie they do flashbacks. So when the guy who went to prison, when he was a little boy, he aimed the gun at his father because his father was beating his mother. So as a kid, he remembers seeing his father beat his mother. So as a kid, as a boy, he pointed the gun at his father because his father was hitting his mother. But as a man, when I think he had done something, did something like he brought in food for the family, and the mother got mad. She said it was drug money, so he paid a lot of money for the food, but she threw it all in a trash can. And I can understand the message, but she did it in the wrong way. And guess what? He drew back and almost hit his mother, but his brother had to stop him. Right? Check that movie out, Jason's Lyric, man. All right? And that's the same dynamic as what Tim expressed to me. Now, granted, that movie's based on fiction, but what I'm saying is sometimes in fiction, you can see a lot of truth in fiction. And sometimes what's in movies has happened in society, right? So my point is, man, a lot of these women, man, and this is women of all races. Some women, especially nowadays, a lot of women are immature. Okay, they do a lot of stupid shit. One more story I'll tell before I get to my point. When I was not doing well financially in one of my apartment complexes, I had to go to court. You know, an apartment complex will take you to court if you go past a certain date without being able to pay them. This is back in like 2013. Black dude stood up before the judge. He said, I gave her the money. I don't know why the rent is not paid. Right? And I believe dude. And you know what probably happened? And people said, well, there's no reason why you should put your hand on a woman. Hey, man, like Chris Rock said, no one is above an ass beating. And women try that psychological trick with you, too. You will hit a woman, but you won't hit no man. But the opposite is true, right? Some of these dudes today will shoot another dude, but if a little female disrespects you, you won't do shit to her, right? Excuse me. And females can be very disrespectful. Like say if me and a guy get in a confrontation, right? We more than likely, if we can't resolve it through words, it may get physical. You know, right? But I'd rather us get physical than you do some shit like slash my tires, bust my windows out. That's the type of shit females do when they get mad, right? Now that's your only mode of transportation, and she done busted out all your windows and scratched your tires. See, that type of shit will make me almost kill a bitch, right? Because you touching my property. If you have a problem with me, you face me face to face. Don't touch my shit. You see what I mean? But they do shit like that. I saw a Facebook post. Spanish chick had the kids in the car with him. I guess it was his wife or whatever, or his ex. She busts out all his windows while he's in the car with the kids crying. Busted out all his windows, took the kids to her car, and he just sat there recording. I'd have probably went to jail. Cause I'd have been stomping that bitch before she even swung back. I'm taking that shit. I'm slamming her head against the fucking car. Don't touch my shit. Because I'm not gonna touch your shit. No matter how you feel about me, don't touch my shit. You see what I'm saying? That could be that man's only mode of transportation, even if it's not. Why do you have to touch his shit? Because he did something you didn't like. You gonna touch his property? That could be his only way to work, for him to earn money for his family. And if he doesn't earn, what's she going to do? Go to the judge and say he's not paying child support. But you busted up his car, right? Slashed his tires. Why? Because he wanted one woman and didn't want your ass. See, that's why you beat a bitch. You know, I gave you the rent money and you went ahead and gave. Now, fortunately for me, I haven't been in these type of situations. But these are some things that would, as of right now, I haven't, thank God. But these are some of the things that would make me put my hands on a bitch. And some of these things have gotten females beat up pretty bad, if not killed, right? Because when you see a female killed in the media, first thing you want to do is feel sorry for her. You don't know what she's done, right? So, for example, another reason to put my foot up your ass, I give you the money for rent. We're struggling, right? And you take that money and you do some other shit with it. And I think it's a shame that most men are, when they bring home their check, they give it to the woman. And females are very irresponsible when it comes to money, man. I repeat, it is a damn shame that most men bring their money home to the woman, and women are terrible with money and finances, right? Most of them are, right? Unless they were raised by a father who was shrewd with a dollar. Because they'll buy all this in a store. They go to a store and they get all the name brand cereal, oatmeal, even though all that shit's the same, right? Let me take this little 13 Crimes break. Good, man. Good shit. So anyway, right? So that's what I'm saying, man. I just want you guys to think that over. And even some of these females who are in lesbian relationships, they'll tell you too. Or bisexual relationships, they will tell you too. It's scandalous females. That's why I would never respect a woman just because she's a woman. Are you crazy? A person earns respect. How you gonna respect somebody because they're of a certain gender? Because they can have a baby? Men provide the seed. A womb ain't shit without the seed. Right? Because you could carry a baby, you're a warehouse. I don't understand why women deserve so much respect just because they have a womb. Without the womb, you won't have future kids. Without the seed, you won't have kids either, right? Anybody can be a vehicle. Your stomach, your belly is the vehicle for your stomach. We carry around an intestine, stomach, heart, right? We're just a vehicle. They're a vehicle for the baby. Why should you just respect somebody because they can carry something around? We all carry shit around. We carry organs around. They just can carry organs and then a baby. Okay. So you automatically should get all the respect? No, you get respect when you are a good person, right? And when you can embrace your femininity, right? Respecting a woman because she's just a woman and it's for the dogs. So some of these females are sluts. They're bad people. They're murderers. They're thieves. They're liars. And I'm going to do another video called Black Women Lie for Sport, right? They're gamblers. They're alcoholics. Females are drug addicts, right? They're pedophiles, right? Come on, man. Talk to me, right? Huh? Talk to me. They're everything men are, and even worse. Right? And more deceptive at it because they can use that female thing to their advantage. Cry, act like they crying in court. No tears, right? Huh? Talk to me. No tears. Huh? Just heard another story about a black female who killed her daughter. Daughter had special needs, and she drowned the little 3-year-old girl in a lake. Took a car and ran over a man in the process, and took that little girl to the lake and drowned her. 2 years old, right? Most of the females are the ones killing these children, man. Never before in history have you heard about kids being killed at such a high rate. These females are murdering these kids, man. Ain't no man around. Right? Females are murderers too, man. They murderers, thieves, rapists, pedophiles. All that shit. Serial killers. Eileen, whatchamacallit, from Florida, who was executed for killing all those men when she was a prostitute. Right? Come on, man. Huh? Come on, man. Yeah, females deserve. If you will give a man an ass whooping, you give a female a ass whooping, right? But why? Because a man has more testosterone, and even that's going down in most men, right? A 30% reduction in the past 30 years, right? Huh? Come on, man. You gonna let a female walk all over you because she gave birth to you? You know, giving birth to you is not doing you a favor. Taking care of you is doing you a favor. Because getting here, you're going to have good and bad, right? When you ain't conceived, you don't experience no bad. Huh? Come on, man. Yeah, some females need their ass beat. But I can see why men beat black women's ass, because they are the most deceitful at this point. The most disrespectful. Because our households in the black community, black community are led by black females. That's why you got all this nonsense going on. So most boys are raised to hate themselves, love the women, and the women use that to their advantage to have power over the kids. So they're the most disrespectful, man. You know, I get to the point I can't stand the sight of them. A lot of black females. Does that mean you hate yourself? Nah, because I'm looking outward. I hate what I see for the black females. I'm not. No. You know, I just like saying, you know, I hate a bear. He got brown fur. You know, I'm brown. I hate that bear. I hate myself. Nah, man. I hate what I'm looking at. I don't know why people kind of equate that. Nah, man. Now, I'm not saying that the overall attitude in society has not deteriorated to the point where people aren't as respectful anymore. But again, if white society catches a cold, the black community catches pneumonia, since we typically follow them. So like I said, precedence has been set, but at the same time, man, you don't have to uh, you have to always resist something that you know is not right. You don't just say fuck it, right? I just want to break that down, man. Let me know what y'all think. I mean, I know it's a taboo topic, but I think it had to be a video like this had to be made. I don't see too many videos on social media talking about why they can understand why females are getting their asses beat, but especially like a black women and females, they'll do what? A lot of females, especially black females, have set guys up to be robbed, set guys up to go to prison, set guys up to be murdered. Do those females don't deserve to be beat? Huh? Come on, man. Think about it. But be sure to like, subscribe. Let me know what you think. And again, this is your boy, the author, signing out.